Hi Leo, this is Nyonjo from Truth is True, and I'm here to do our team reading. And I just want to say thank you to all the people who liked, shared, and subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much. So let's get started. Zero ball message for is discovery. And what that means, the Shakawism Oracle deck. Are you trying to recapture a past that no longer fits? If you're presently upset or struggling with a difficult situation, you may be seeking to keep something that is far less than what you deserve. Am I happy in this situation? How is it benefiting me? The healing of predetermined agreements must be addressed. Awareness is healing. The idea is relieving the past behind, a readiness for a new adventure, a willingness to venture into uncharted territory, a new level of self-care. And the little phrase that comes with it is, not little, but in the past, you may not have been fully prepared to face the facts. Be willing to take the journey regardless of the outcome. Regardless of the outcome will prove rewarding. Get ready to carry a commitment through to its completion. So your love the sun. So your clarifying cards are growth and wisdom. So definitely, yeah, you're entering a new chapter of your life, something that feels very unknown, and maybe probably as a result, you kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable. You're being faced with things that you never really had to be dealt with before, and they're starting to emerge. And these are things that you have the ability, you have the knowledge from your past experiences to be able to deal with. And it's just a new way of growing that you haven't had to move through yet. And there are some ways that we grow that feel very comfortable, you know. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm good. I don't need them anymore, yeah. But there's some things that are just like, oh, I know I need to go, but I don't want to. This feels so icky. It seems like that's kind of where it's at right now. Especially with dealing with things that are currently in your life that need to leave, but you are dealing with things in your life that need to leave because you don't know how to place them in your life. You're like, I have these things that don't feel right and don't fit anymore. It's like having a jacket that shrank, but you love that jacket so much. You loved it so much. And then now you wear it and it's just like, it's uncomfortable. Why am I doing this to myself? But I just love it. It's so fleek, like, oh God. But you're trying to recapture a past that doesn't fit anymore. This jacket doesn't fit, and this situation doesn't make you happy. And realizing that is kind of asking you to really face that is what this month is going to be about. But know that you already have the information to be able to make those decisions and how that shows up. All right, so let's get to the love part of your reading. So you have the Two of Swords and the Three of Wands. This is another card of it just kind of highlights that uncertainty. You're on this new path and you're not really sure how to move forward. Because with the Three of Wands, it seems like you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for a while. I'm like, I hear you. You've been waiting for a while for these situations or connections to manifest that feel satisfying. And you're just like not sure what it takes for it to happen. So let's find some cards. Interesting. So you have this, I think this showed up in your winter solstice reading. So you have the Five of Pentacles. Gosh, that's gonna bother me. This little line, man. Go away. So you have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Page of Cups in reverse. So, with the Five of Pentacles, it really definitely talks about a situation turning around, a situation where you felt like an outsider. And maybe kind of what's stagnating you is still that sensation and feeling of being like an outsider. The messages that you're keeping from the past that told you that you were not good enough or cool enough or interesting enough or whatever. You know, this is something that I've talked about during our, like I said, winter solstice reading. And it's kind of making it a little bit cloudy in what decision you need to make. Yeah, Four of Swords in reverse. It's like feeling it's not emphasizing that message of indecisiveness, of how to gain this kind of mental clarity and stability in how you are trying to attract these sort of messages that are coming towards you, or these things coming towards you because you've been manifesting them. Are they coming towards you because people are just not right in your life? Are they coming towards you, blah, blah, blah? Like, these are things that you're trying to make out in your life, and it's just like making you feel stuck. with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I'm trying to get more information here. And with the Hangman in reverse, it's really talking about needing a change of perspective. And that's probably a lot of what is very making things feel more stuck than it is. It's like you're facing the situation in the wrong way. Like literally, this is a situation. You're facing it here. And if you face it here, you know that it's shallow. Kind of fun, but okay. I'm gonna go with it. Like really just looking at it in a different lens will allow you to realize that you're not an outsider anymore, or allow you to realize that you have these messages that are these negative messages of being like an outsider can no longer hold weight towards you. Even if it stings initially, it's not something, even just feeling that sensation. Maybe you're just like, why do I still care about these things? Why do I still have these like emotional reactions? Because you're a human. It hurts when people say mean things to you, but it does not mean that you're not like doing what you need to be doing, you know? You've already put in the work in. So that's just the clarity you probably need. It's like, you're doing the work. You know, you feel stuck right now, but you're doing the work. It's just having a different perspective of how much work you put in. Okay, so to the couples, you have the Hermit in reverse and the Ace of Wands in reverse. So with the Hermit in reverse, but the Hermit in reverse specifically talks about just this lack of introspection, this really lack of kind of digging at the roots of why sort of things feel very like they're flatlining. But the Ace of Wands, it's like the energy feels like it's kind of draining. This initial energy, the beginnings of the spark relationship, feels like it's just kind of flat lining. You're just like, whoa, we have this chemistry, so what's happening? Like, why do I feel unexcited? We had it good. Like, you know, all these things that have been important to you. Maybe these are things that have been important to you in the past, and now you're trying to hold it in the weight in your current relationship and relationships, and it's just not as satisfying anymore. And the other side of it is that you have these new expectations that you've gathered and know you deserve. So the initial spark is going away because you come back to that. You're like, wait a second. From my past diggings of what I need and that I've internalized, this person is not living up to those standards. Oh my God. That's what's happening to you right now. And so the Seven of Wands is definitely asking you to stand up for yourself, to stand up for your morals and your passions and these things that are really important to you and what you want in a relationship. So like I said, with the initial scenario of having these expectations, it's almost like you're standing up to yourself. Like, hey, you, I know these things were important to you in the past, but you gotta let them go. Or, hey, you, person I'm in a relationship or people I'm in a relationship with, and I deserve these things. And if you are not gonna satisfy this relationship is gonna flatline and I'm gonna leave. So that's kind of what it's asking you to do, is really stand up for yourself. And really, a part of standing up for yourself is having confidence in what you're standing up for, what you're standing up for in the first place. You know, it's just that reiteration of this discovery card of just like really having a new level of self-care. That's what it is. This is another card to me that could be this aspect of self-care, of just standing up for yourself. And for me, that's a lot of what self-care is for me. I know a lot of people, it's like taking a bath, getting a massage. But self-care for me has always been standing up for myself when I feel like I'm being wronged, or standing up for values, or expressing what I need. That's self-care. This is something that is asking you to present in your relationships, in your relationship. All right, let's get to the work, passion, and community. So you have the Sun, pretty, our energy, Leo energy, the Seven of Swords in reverse, and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So this is really speaking to an illusion being exposed, a deception that has been present in your life. Maybe it's a mindset, maybe it's people, maybe it's kind of a work situation. Whatever the situation turned into work, it's kind of being exposed, you know. And maybe it's kind of, this exposure is kind of leaving you a little bit unstable, or making you feel a little bit ungrounded and being able to take care of yourself. And another message I'm getting with that scenario, with these cards, is like kind of exposing how you haven't been taking care of yourself, exposing how you haven't been putting in the work that is very satisfying to you. It's like this kind of self-deception that you've been living has been exposed because you're having a taste of what happiness in this realm could look like, in this field of work, passion, and community. You got a taste of it, and you know now what you deserve, so you're kind of letting go of what doesn't, like I said, with this discovery card, and really trying to find out what is something that makes you feel emotionally sad. Yeah, you have the Six of Swords here, which is basically moving towards a situation, moving away from a situation, gaining the knowledge from that situation, and moving forward. See all this information from the self-deception, external deception that's happened in this time or previously, and you're carrying that knowledge forward, and you have like I said, you have the wisdom to be able to deal with any other situations that come forward. Like that was sort of the purpose of the situation, is to be able to navigate situations in the future that kind of mirror that, and you're like, oh no. Yeah, the Justice card. That basically speaks to what it, like I had someone in a reading recently from a person, and the way she explained this card to me, it's a new way of thinking about it, that I thought really kind of aligns with how I think about it still too. It's kind of being aligned with your values. Like I said, what you put in is what you get out. So if you're putting in terms of your morals, your values of wanting this self satisfaction, sufficiency, all this, you put that in the ways that it might not initially look for you. Like you're like, oh well, I don't know, I didn't know that. Like I said earlier, standing up for myself is a form of self-care. So now you're learning these new ways that you should take care of yourself in terms of your work, passion, and community. These new ways are exposing themselves, and they're allowing you to feel a little bit more stable because of the knowledge of what you need before you're bringing that in. Like you're bringing in this knowledge, you're putting it out to the universe, and you're getting it back. You're like, actually, I want to stand up for myself. I want these material satisfactions. I want to let go of these people. You're putting all that in so all the benefits of that can come back to you. Because if you continue to put in this kind of self-deprecating, not taking care of yourself, your physical body, your body in all different ways that needs to be taken care of, which isn't just a process you do alone, asking for help is a form of self-care. All these things that you're doing are going to be coming back to you. Or if you're not doing that, you're just going to continue to be unable to reap the benefits of what it feels like to really grow in a way that actually puts these benefits back to you. Allow you to acknowledge and give yourself credit for how much work you've done. That's what I was saying. Okay, so for your higher purpose and spirituality, you have the High Priestess here. Sorry for the interruption. So what I was saying is that your highest purpose is High Priestess, the Hierophant, and the Death card. So with these cards, what you need to know are your challenges, following your intuition. So right now, a part of your journey, new self-care, or what are the other messages here? Oh, sorry. Part of your preparation for this new journey is really your self-care or your intuition, being able to trust your intuition. And part of trusting your intuition is having kind of a method of processing the thoughts that come to you. And this is kind of what is gonna be, where you're gonna be validated in knowing is that you have a philosophy or a doctrine or whatever. You have a way of being able to process these thoughts. It's like maybe you haven't, so you have your intuition and there's a container where all those thoughts go. And maybe it's been a lot difficult to be able to translate the container from the thoughts of this container. But this is sort of what your challenge is, to be able to make that process more transparent, to be able to make the fact that you have the ability to get these intuitive thoughts, these intuitive messages, and really, really trust them because they're a part of a larger process of how you are living in your morals. So, for example, I get this thought, ooh, this person kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't really know how to process this. And you're like, wait a second, I've felt like this in the past with this other particular person, and I should trust thoughts. Because when people show up this way, that's not good. And that sort of process is going to be very transformative for you. to be able to, not in that scenario, but even able to trust that things are going to go well. Like, I know I'm making myself feel very worried about these circumstances, but I know I have a habit of doing that. And these kind of moments are going to feel very transformative for you during this month. This moments of really just trusting yourself and really feeling solid in trusting yourself. All right, so your overall advice is, I am on the right path and divinely guided. Very straightforward. And when I let others shine, I shine too. So I think when I let others shine, yeah, the second one, this one, what it's saying is, another part of this path, just coming back to this story, is kind of releasing responsibility for other people's paths. And it's almost like what it says, when I let others shine. It's not necessary. It's not about you taking up a spotlight. It just is a lot about you wanting to support people to live in that spotlight, because you know how good it feels to be in that spotlight. So you kind of like show up for people in that way. But I think what you need to realize this month is that you don't always have to do that, because sometimes you can just turn that spotlight to you and your growth and your growth. So you don't always have to like be someone's cheerleader first. You can be your own cheerleader. That's very important. It's being your own cheerleader, and that's going to allow you to carry you through this, moving through this path that feels very unknown and strange. Is being your own cheerleader and kind of relinquishing the responsibilities of being everybody else's cheerleader. Yeah. So that's your reading. If you like your personal reading with me, go to my website, truthexchange.com, in the link below. And I have full moon and new moon readings that I do every month on Instagram and on my website. And yeah, thanks for watching. Blessings.